I wanted to take you outside with me today. It's windy. I hope it's not going to be too windy to be out here and filming. And it's cool, but it's nice. The weather's nice. It's not too hot, not too cold, kind of just right. I think we're supposed to get some rain later this evening, so maybe that's why some of the wind is coming in. I wanted to talk to you about Lent, and then I've got some things that I wanted to show you outside. So if you've been on the channel, you know we're not Catholic. I was raised in a Baptist church. I still attend a Baptist church. I would say I'm non-denominational. I wouldn't say that I am in 100% alignment or agreement with any sect of religion, if that, maybe I shouldn't use the term religion, but as far as Baptist, Methodist, Pentecostal, Episcopalian, Catholic, I wouldn't say I go with any of those. I would just say that I'm in a relationship with Jesus, that, you know, I'm saved by His grace, and you get the picture. But I'm talking about Lent, and if you've been on the channel, you know I'm not Catholic. I just wanted to start with that. I was talking to my friend earlier on the phone today. She was raised as a Catholic. She's not anymore. And in the last couple days, I thought about Lent, because I know that's coming up. At the time I'm filming this video, Lent is tomorrow. And I thought about it, and I said, you know, I don't even really know that much about Lent. I knew that it was a kind of a celebration of Jesus. I knew it had a lot to do with fasting, with about the 40 days leading up to Easter. And I thought, I'm going to look a little bit more about this. It's just not something that we observed growing up. I read a very enlightening article that I'll leave in the description, and I thought, I want to be part of that. And I thought this Christmas, this was the first Christmas with Woody, and things were hectic, if I'm honest, and things just, a lot going on, and everything went fast, and before I knew it, Christmas was over. And I found myself asking, but did I really stop and celebrate Jesus' birth? Like, did I really stop and think about that? Or was it filled with, I gotta get this gift for this person and wrap this, and we're going to this person's house and traveling with a baby? And I thought, next year I'm going to participate in some type of Advent, even if that is something that is self-created, something to celebrate, worship, have Jesus at the center of Christmas, because that's the point. Well, here we are at Lent, approaching Easter. So for me, that is kind of what it's about, is I want to take this 40 or so days leading up to Easter, to the resurrection, and be more mindful about my relationship with Jesus. I want to spend this next 40 days. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to pray about it, and I'm going to say, God, you lead me, you guide me. I want to take this 40 or so days leading up to Easter and focus on my relationship with Jesus. I want to deepen my relationship. I want to focus more on trusting Him and having better faith. And I know traditionally Lent is you fast from something, and I'm not sure about that. If I feel led to fast from something, I definitely will. But I think I want to just really think about trusting Him. And so for me, that may look like a fast from not complaining, not stressing, not worrying, not taking one little issue and blowing it out of proportion. That's something that I wanted to share with you as Lent is about to happen, and we're about to be in this season. And then comment below, because I guarantee you some of our viewers here probably are Catholic, and I would love to know your take on this, and know traditionally maybe how Lent was practiced in your family. And I would love your thoughts on that. Anyone. So that's another reason I wanted to share this, but also to just encourage you, as we're about to be in this season, starting to lead up to Easter and the resurrection. What if we're just more mindful than usual about this time in worship and prayer and looking for Jesus, and we're just wherever you're at in your season of life. So pray and ask God, this season of life I'm in, I want to grow deeper with you. How can I do that? How can I, this Lent season, how can I just get more of you? And I love what the article said. It's not so we can be better. It's not fasting so we can get better or draw attention to ourselves. And so I'm having to pray, God, so teach me what that is. Help me. I want to make sure that I'm not just trying to celebrate this Lent season to go along with everyone else or so I can bring glory to myself. The whole point is to focus on you. That being said, it's getting windy. Before I show you some things that I wanted to show you outside, I wanted to talk about this shirt. This is Miss Cindy's shirt. This is the first time that I've ever wore this shirt. And when she died, you know, of course we kept some of her clothes. And at the time I thought, I don't really know what I'm going to do with them. I don't know if I would wear them. And I was a little bit skinnier. I still have some weight from when I had Woody, so this fits me really well now. And these were just packed away in a closet in my house. And I was like, what am I doing with these? I either need to get them out, wash them, wear them, or donate them. And I seen, you may have, if you follow along on the channel, you may have seen out of one of her yellow shirts like this. This is like just a linen button-up. I had some ornaments made for Christmas for Katie and Mom. And then I thought, I'm going to wear this. And so it still smells like her. Which is sweet, but obviously makes me teary-eyed. So I'm thrilled to be wearing her shirt, this hot pink shirt. It's maybe not something that I would have picked and bought myself, but I love this thing, and so I'm excited. And there's a red one. Katie, we actually filmed a video today. I don't know what order these will be in, and she had on that shirt. So that's really special. I really like this. I'm digging my hot pink shirt. So now I want to take you around. There's a few things that I want to show you outside. First of all, though, I got to check my baby monitor. Baby's still sleeping. So this is a sight for sore eyes. Seeing the garden plowed again. This is going to be the second year that we have grown this garden since, I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago. And so that's so special, seeing all the dirt tilled up. That was a deep till, so there's a lot of just rich dirt at the surface, and it just makes me so happy to see, because that was the garden that, you know, my grandpa started, and that's special. But it almost feels like it goes along with I don't know, Lent, because Lent, we're going into spring, we're going into Easter and the resurrection, and it's almost like a new beginning, a new birth. And that's exactly what this garden is we're going into a new growing season, and we're having to get it tilled and get it ready for spring, get it ready to plant, because we need to let that dirt kind of come to the surface and do its thing. And I don't know, I just noticed that I'm super happy that it's plowed and getting ready to plant. But then it also, like I said, made me think about Lent. We're heading towards the resurrection, and so preparing for that. And that's kind of the same thing we're doing with the garden here. So very excited to see this plowed. Since I've got on these boots, I can walk through here without, these are just my old muck boots, so I'm not worried about getting them dirty. The only thing that would make this better is if I could take off my shoes and walk barefooted. And I probably could, but it'd just be a little messy. But I just wanted to show you how deep this till was. I love this. As little girls, me and Katie loved coming out here once it was freshly plowed and checking out all the new dirt. I know there's at least one picture of me and my teens running the tiller, but now that was before my dad had the big tractor, so I had to put that in here. It's kind of funny to look back on. I was on my way to show you the next thing, and I found one of these things in my yard. I can't remember what these come off of, but I love these. They're so pretty. I should hold on to this and see if I can find some more. I could put them in my house in a little jar. That'd be pretty. So this is the next thing that I was going to show you. So this is Austin's deer target. And as you can see, it broke recently. And this morning, he texted me when he got to work, and he said, "Are you the one who put the horns in my deer target?" I said, "No, I definitely didn't do that." And he said, "Well, maybe it was your dad." And I thought, I have a feeling I know who did that. Katie. And she did. So she's come through here and stuck some sticks in there. I don't know if she put some in that other side and they fell out maybe. So it could be like the deer had horns again. I just thought that was hilarious. I was like, what? Since I'm walking past it, I'll show you this too. This is my compost pile. And I'm just giving it a go. I'm going to see if I can compost things like this. I've just got some layers in there of kitchen scraps, dirt, leaves. I'm going to turn it at some point. I kind of got it rocked in, so that's going to be my version of a compost pile, and maybe things will actually compost in there, I don't know. But I'm pretty proud of it. It's been kind of a fun little thing. Usually on nap times, I take the compost out and sew it down in there. Here's something else I'll show you. My chives are coming back. We've had some warm days, and I'm getting a lot of those coming back, which is awesome. Those are so good for salads. And then this year, I want to dry some. I've never done that, but if I dried them, I could be using them all year round. Now, before I show you this last thing, there was something else that I wanted to mention. This past Sunday at church, there was a guy who come and preached. It was actually my aunt's who used to live here, her brother. And then I went to another service later that night to see someone else preach. It was one of their first times preaching. And it's very interesting how God works. Sometimes, at least for me, and I think this is probably true for other people too, the same message will appear to you more than one time. And when that happens, I know that that is God trying to get my attention and get me to listen. And part of, I feel like, what he was trying to tell me was, I got the wind again, is that I just need to come to him just as I am. Like the song, Just As I Am. That's a beautiful song. And that's what the preacher on Sunday preached about. And I just felt this moment of just almost shock. And I felt like that was the Holy Spirit saying, you better listen to this. I'm sure he didn't say it like that, but you need to listen up to this. God has just brought it to my attention lately. I'm like trying to be perfect for him, and in doing that, I'm not being myself. It's almost like I'm trying to say, well, let me, like a rock, like let me polish myself up and get clean before I come to you. And that's not how it's supposed to be. I know that. So that's something that I'm really working on. And then talking about Lent, that's something that I would even like to do, is when I was talking about trusting him, that's another aspect in it for me, is just relying on him, not my inability to fail, but relying on him and coming as I am, and not being so caught up with, well, I gotta be perfect at this and this and this. And I know that, but if you've been on the channel, you know I struggle with perfection. So that was just something that I wanted to share too. That was just a powerful message for me. And I'm trying to think, there was another thing I loved, another really young preacher there, what he said. And I made a video about this recently. In the video I talked about, if you haven't seen it, I'll put a link in the description, about isolation. That perspective, like when you see a sick kid and you're like, oh my gosh, I've been complaining too much. I need to be more grateful. I loved what he said. He was talking about that service that night and saying, but it feels so good, and you can feel the Holy Spirit, and it's like you just don't want to leave, because when you walk out those doors, you go back to the world. And that just like put the nail on the head. Like, that's how it feels sometimes. Even now when I'm out here in nature and it's beautiful, but then when it's over and it's time to kind of go back to reality, not that I don't love my reality, it's like going back to the world. And so if you can steal away and find these moments of peace, no matter what that is, that's a big thing. So anyways, I wanted to share those things as well from those church services. Those were just kind of big things for me. So the last thing that I wanted to show you was the creek, because for one, it's beautiful. But for two, me and Austin and Woody took a hike up here just a few days ago, and I noticed the creek is like widening in some places. It's wider than I've ever seen it. I've never seen it that wide, even since I was a little girl, and it's kind of interesting. I'm not sure why it's kind of, the creek is spreading out, but it's beautiful, so I wanted to show you. So this is where the creek is wider. I've never seen it flowing on this part right here. It's never been that wide. So that was very interesting to me when we walked up here the other night. And it's just beautiful. All the rocks, and it's just at these kind of different levels cascading down. Holy cow. I've just never seen it out all the way this far. I feel like it used to just kind of go that way, and there was a whole maybe foot and a half that was just rock right here. And then on the other side too, right there, kind of those rocks right there, that was kind of the end of it. I've never seen it flowing all the way up towards the woods like that. It's interesting. And you can see how all these little rocks have collected on this really big one. I came back inside so that when Woody does wake up, I will be here. I was on the outside for a few minutes. It was so nice being out there. Being outside just feels so invigorating and makes me feel so close to God. That's been one of my new goals, is to try to get outside more. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, just getting to come along with me. I'm out of breath, if you can tell. I love wearing Miss Cindy's shirt. I love seeing the garden plowed. And I want to know your thoughts about Lent, and I would encourage you to do that, is just think about this next 40 days as just a time to have a deeper relationship with God. One last thing, though, that I wanted to say before I leave you. When I was talking about the sermons at church and how that was a blessing to me, I just kind of, as I was walking back from the creek, God put this kind of illustration in my mind, and it's one I've had in my mind before, but I felt like I wasn't all that clear in what I was trying to say earlier. God just wants a restorative relationship with us, and He wants us to have His love and His mercy and His grace and His abundance. And it's just it's us humans are funny creatures. It's like a kid. We've witnessed so many times with these little boys. You hand them a toy that you think they'll really like, and then they're like, no, I don't want this, I want something else. And I see so much of myself in that. And I just think about, a father and a child, and God loves us. That's how it is. He loves us, and He wants us tantrums, messy diapers, spit up. He wants us with all of that. And I have to be mindful, because I want to come before God in reverence, and sometimes I just forget to be me. I just forget that I'm Corey. He has my instruction manual. He created me, so He knows all my tendencies. Now, yes, I should do my best for God. You should do your best for God. That's what I was trying to hint at. When the pastor was speaking, that's what I felt God saying is, you need to be you. The you I created you to be. That could be a whole nother video for another time. And just be yourself. Don't try to be perfect. And it's hard. There's a balance. Of course, we want to be reverent before God. We want to be holy before God. And so there is a balance. But even in that, God can teach us that balance. It doesn't have to just come from our knowledge and our wisdom. So, this has kind of been a southern goodbye here. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you coming along with me. God bless you. God keep you. I look forward to your comments, and I'll see you on the next one.